I flew from Brisbane to New York for only $187. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can too. Gosh, this flipping clickbait stuff is nowhere near this video because I promise you I'm telling you the truth. So yes guys, recently in the month of May 2026, I took my wife on a beautiful flight from Brisbane in Queensland, Australia, all the way to the United States, to the Big Apple, New York City, flying into JFK for the measly cost of $187. Pretty pleased with that result. Now why May in particular? Well, you know, if you go in December, it's too snowy, so you have to buy a whole new wardrobe worth of clothes just to keep up with the snow. Some of the hotels are a little bit more expensive around that time too, so it just blows up the cost of the trip. But remember, what we're trying to do is reduce cost. And these flights were $187 for me. When looking at all of the different months that we could have gone, May was the best time to go. Once we arrived, we stayed at The Ludlow, which is literally right next to Kat's Deli.
We're here, ladies and gents. This thing's so heavy it won't even move.
We ate incredible food, shopped at stores that we don't have in Australia, like Supreme, had some matcha at some cute cafes, took sunrise photos at the Brooklyn Bridge, and we even squeezed in a little getaway within the holiday out to the Hamptons with a hire car. In the context of the overall holiday, saving so much money on the flights enabled us to do nice things like that. This holiday was one of the highlights of my life, and if it weren't for the $187 ticket to New York City, I wouldn't have been able to go. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can too. Just a quick disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered as financial advice. So the first thing we need to consider is, what would this normally cost? What would it normally cost to fly from Brisbane to New York City? So I'm here on the Qantas website, and you can see I've selected Brisbane and JFK, a one-way flight for one adult in economy. Let's just say 1st of May, because that's when I flew last year. So looking up the top here, you can see that the lowest cost flight comes down to $1,460. So if we click on that here and we search for price, there's a flight here for $1,460, and I paid about $177 for myself, which means that was a pretty good deal. Now, for the smarter among you, it should come as no surprise the way we were able to secure tickets for just $187 one way per person was a little thing that we like to call Qantas points, or frequent flyer points. Unless you've been living under a rock, you should at this point be well aware that the best way to get great value in airlines and travel is by utilizing frequent flyer points. And let me tell you, Qantas points are some of the best. By spending money that you would probably normally spend anyway using partner programs, by signing up for specific credit cards that have massive sign-up bonuses, and by doing everyday grocery and fuel shopping at places like Woolworths and Coles, you can accumulate Qantas points or frequent flyer points with Virgin very, very quickly. So what was our strategy? Without any official endorsement and specifically referring only to what I myself actually did, my wife and I utilized the Qantas American Express Ultimate Card. If I remember correctly, my wife and I signed up perhaps 2 years ago, and if we were to spend a minimum amount of $3,000 on the card in the first 3 months, we were eligible and would receive a 50,000 Qantas point bonus. All just for spending what we would have spent otherwise on the card. One of the main perks that enabled us to use this to qualify for the points was the fact that there was a free additional card holder at no extra cost. So for about 6 weeks, my wife and I combined all of our living expenses, including groceries, fuel, eating out, anything you can think of. We put it all on this card using Apple Pay on our phone. In addition to that, every dollar that we spent on this card was 1.25 Qantas points. In addition to that, we received a $450 Qantas travel voucher to be used either domestically or internationally. In addition to that, we received complimentary travel insurance. In addition to that, a total of 4 lounge passes at all of the different airports across Australia. After I believe only 6 to 8 weeks, we actually qualified for the minimum spend, which meant that we received 50,000 sweet Qantas points. After qualifying for the points bonus fairly quickly, my wife and I decided that hey, let's give another couple of cards a go. Sooner rather than later, we actually qualified for 2 more points bonuses that launched our points tally up to over 200,000 Qantas points. And let me tell you, once you have 200,000 Qantas points, there's plenty you can do. So without further ado, let me show you how I actually did it. So now to look for the cheapest points flight, also known as a classic reward. So to best illustrate this point, I'm actually going to switch the destination to Haneda in Japan. I've got a return flight for 1 adult economy and I've flicked the rewards section on. If you click here on travel dates, you can actually plan your trip around when these red classic rewards flights are available. The blue ones here, Classic Plus, are sort of like a stock market of increasing and decreasing prices for Classic Plus rewards flights. They don't tend to be the best deal, so I kind of just ignore them completely, at least when it comes to economy. So looking here, I can perhaps look at a trip from Brisbane to Haneda on the 21st, and then I choose my return date, hit continue, and hit search. So straight away, if you look up the top here, you can see the lowest green symbol is on here for a 29,000 points plus $160 flight, which you can see here, Brisbane to Tokyo, Narita. When the 2 airports are close, they tend to just override depending on which one is the best value. So Brisbane to Tokyo, I'll click here and I will add it to trip. And then for the return leg, I'm going to use the carousel up here to find the cheapest flight. I can see this one here leaves 1 day later, so I'm going to click on this one here. And once it loads, I'm going to sort for price, and you can see here right at the top, Tokyo back to Brisbane. Yes, it's with Jetstar, but it's 24,700 points. I hit add to trip. For 1 person, you can see my return economy flight at 53,700 points for $277 all the way to Japan. So, you've seen the tricks now. Using a very basic strategy of loading your life expenses onto a credit card, you can earn a lot of points, qualify for a lot of spend bonuses, and use those points on incredible flights. I know there has been a recent devaluing of points, but if you're willing to look, there are still some opportunities out there to have some great fun and make memories that'll last you a lifetime.